to go when we start. Oh, and Andy is here. Gotta change some settings.
Second.
Pardon my dog. There's someone in our front yard.
That's JPEG protecting you.
That is JPEG. Is my mic thing not working?
You were muting yourself when you were talking to your dog, but
Fantastic. It looked like I was still talking on the screen, but I have like it's a toggle on and off.
yeah, no, it worked.
So I just didn't want you to hear me yelling.
No, we didn't hear you.
That would be obnoxious. Okay. That's all ready. And then I'm just going to hit record now. So we should be ready whenever you are ready, Tracy, at 5:30.
All right. I will now call to order the July 15th meeting of the Salem Historic Landmark Commission. Will the recorder please take roll call?
Commissioner Cottingham.
Here.
Commissioner Kurtman.
Here.
Commissioner Fuller.
Here.
Commissioner Ponce.
Here.
Commissioner Schwartz.
Here.
Commissioner Thomas.
Here.
Commissioner Zimmerman.
Here.
Commissioner French, absent excused. Commissioner Mulvihill, absent excused. We have established quorum.
Awesome. Thank you, Zach. The commission will now hear testimony from the public concerning items not on the agenda. Is there anyone signed up to speak?
We do not have anyone signed up to speak on non-agenda items or agenda
Awesome.
items for that matter.
I love that. Perfect. So seeing none, we will now consider the approval of the minutes from the last meeting on June 17th. May I please have a motion to approve the minutes?
I still move. This is Andy.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Perfect. So Commissioner Zimmerman moves to approve the minutes and Commissioner Ponce seconds. Are there any corrections? All right. Hearing no. Oh, sorry.
It was Commissioner Cottingham, but either way.
Oh, sorry. Commissioner Cottingham seconds. That won't need to be corrected in the next minutes then. Good.
Preemptive.
Yes, I love that. All right. Hearing no corrections, we will now vote on approving the June 17th meetings. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, no. Awesome. That is done. All right. It's been a couple of months, but we now have a public hearing. So I will now open the public hearing for historic review case number 21-13 for 1162 Court Street Northeast. Would the recorder please read the hearing procedure statement into the record?
I'd like to declare a conflict there, so I will recuse myself from the hearing.
Perfect. I will get to that after Zach does his part, but I love you being on top of it. Awesome.
I have to apologize. In my haste for today and a previous meeting, I forgot to write the criteria statement. So let me find one that's applicable.
Perfect. Well, if it's not breaking the rules, looking at Dan, can we have Commissioner Ponce declare his ex parte knowledge while Zach's looking that up?
Right ahead.
Okay, perfect. All right. So are there any conflicts of interest or ex parte contacts that any commissioner would like to declare at this time? Commissioner Ponce.
Yes, I will declare that. I have a conflict there specific on that project, so I will recuse myself from the hearing.
Awesome. Thank you for letting us know. I think I know we're in a digital world. Normally, we'd probably ask you to step to the back of the room, but I think if you just want to mute yourself and turn your camera off, is how we will handle that. So thank you for letting us know.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Sorry for the delay. I have it mostly popped up. So
right.
This is a public hearing to consider case number HIS 13 for property located at 1162 Court Street Northeast. The criteria applicable to this hearing are listed in the Salem Revised Code, Chapter 230.065, General Guidelines for Historic Contributing Resources. Failure to raise an issue prior to the close of the public hearing with statements or evidence sufficient to afford the Historic Landmarks Commission and the parties an opportunity to respond to the issue precludes appeal to the hearings officer on that issue. A similar failure to raise constitutional issues precludes, or relating to proposed conditions of approval precludes an action for damages in circuit court. Prior to the conclusion of the hearing, any participant may request an opportunity to present additional evidence or testimony. The Historic Landmarks Commission will then either continue the public hearing or leave the record open for at least 7 days.
Awesome. Thank you, Zach. And we have done the ex parte conflict of interest. So may we now have the staff presentation?
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Kimberly. I am the Historic Preservation Officer for the City of Salem, and I would like to enter the staff report, its attachments, and all public testimony into the record. So this property is located on Court Street, just east of the Oregon State Capitol, and is an individually listed local landmark. These figures from the applicant's submittal show the north and east elevations on the top left of your screen and the east and south elevations on the lower right. So the Oregon Justice Building was constructed in 1930 and designed by architect William Knighton with his partner Leslie D. Howell in the Beaux Arts style. Interestingly enough, this building originally actually housed some state offices, like the Secretary of State offices and the Department of Motor Vehicle Registration. I love this picture on the right with all the staff people posing in front of the building. In 1982, it was remodeled and renamed the Justice Building, and it was designated as a Salem local landmark in 1989 for its architectural significance. So a bit of background on this one. On June 14th, a type 1 decision approving the repair of the windows, cornice, and elevator door was issued for this building. And then subsequent to that, the applicant applied for a Class 3 historic design review to get approval to replace the 2 south elevation doors within the light court, replace the terracotta cladding with glass fiber reinforced concrete replicas, replace the existing single pane glazing with double paned insulated glazing units, raise the 5th floor window sills and alter the 5th floor lower sashes, and install security film on ground level windows and doors. So you're not going to have to remember all of that. I'm going to go through it piece by piece. And if you did have questions, please feel free to ask. So first, the applicant's proposing replacement of 2 deteriorated wooden entry doors on the south facade. It's not feasible to repair these doors because of the level of deterioration, so the applicant is proposing to replace them. And while the new doors will be custom designed to match the existing in both material and design, they are proposing to utilize a different kind of glazing, so those double paned IGUs here. And as I mentioned, they're proposing to replace small sections of terracotta on the exterior facade with glass fiber reinforced concrete replica pieces. They're estimating it will be anywhere from 5 to 20. They hope to repair the terracotta with in-kind material wherever they can, but where the cracks are too deep to repair, they're going to use this GFRC. And if you're not familiar with it, this material has been used on other significant historic resources here in Oregon, including the Supreme Court building nearby. And before they do any of this work, they're going to prepare a mock-up to ensure that the color and glaze, the exterior appearance matches what's existing. So they're proposing to replace the existing single pane glazing with the double paned IGUs. This will require some routing of the sashes so they can receive these double panes. And that will have a minor impact on it. They'll also need to add a exterior wood glazing stop. I'm not sure if you can see it here. I'm circling it with my arrow. So that will slightly alter the exterior profile of the windows. The proposed raising of the windowsills at the 5th floor level will require shortening the length of the lower sash on each window. But this change is necessary because to address the design flaws relating to inadequate drainage on this level, raising the sill will help ensure that long-term damage that's been occurring because of continued contact with water that pools on the cornice during the heavy rain will help fix that problem. And last, the applicant is proposing to add a clear security film to the exterior glazing on the ground floor windows and doors to prevent the glass shattering in the event of an impact. This film is clear with no added tinting or reflectivity. So now I'm going to go through the findings for the applicable guidelines. So we're using SRC 230065. So the first one relating to use. So the applicant is proposing to retain the original use of the building as a government building. While the proposal will result in replacement of some original features, overall the entrance and fenestration patterns and openings will be retained, as will the height, footprint, and massing of the resource, which will not be altered as a result of this proposal. So staff recommends that the HLC find this guideline has been met. And then the next two I'm going to take together relating to historic features. So overall, the original historic features throughout the Justice Building will be treated with sensitivity, with the exception of minor design changes to accommodate design flaws or to improve energy efficiency and security. In general, the existing terracotta windows and doors will be retained, repaired, or replaced in kind to match the existing. So staff recommends the HLC find that guidelines 230065B and C have been met for this proposal. Now moving to D. So the original features will be repaired where feasible, including the terracotta windowsills and frames. Where it's not feasible to repair original features, the applicant is proposing to replace the original with in-kind material. And where original material can't be replaced in kind, the applicant is proposing new materials that match the appearance of the original to the greatest degree possible. So staff recommends the Landmarks Commission find that guideline SRC 230065D has been met for this proposal. And E, changes that have acquired significance. The applicant's not proposing to alter any features of the Justice Building that have acquired significance beyond the original significant features of the resource. So staff recommends the Landmarks Commission find that this guideline is not applicable to the evaluation of this proposal. And F and G, alterations and additions, I'm going to take those together. The proposed alterations will result in repair of original material, and changes to original features will be minimized. The proposal addresses design flaws, which will ensure that the significant features like the cornice will be maintained. The proposed installation of the window film, door replacement, terracotta replacement, and the raising of the 5th floor windowsills are minimal alterations that do not destroy or obscure significant features on the resource. So staff recommends the HLC find that SRC 230065 F and G have been met for this proposal. And H, the applicant's proposal is intended to correct structural deficiencies at that 5th floor, which have been impacting the windows at that level. And additional work is proposed to ensure the exterior terracotta cladding is repaired using that GFRC, which has been demonstrated to be an excellent replacement for original terracotta where the cracks are too deep to repair. So staff recommends the HLC find that guideline SRC 230065H has been met for this proposal. And last, the proposal won't include any excavation or grading, so staff recommends the HLC find that this guideline is not applicable to the evaluation of this proposal. So we've received no public comment. We did receive a comment from the Can-Do Neighborhood Association stating that they had no comment. We received some comments from the Building and Safety Division just stating that building permits are required. The fire department has indicated that the proposed project does not affect the existing fire access or water supply. But they have noted that the applicant will be required to submit an evacuation plan with the building permit as the building will be occupied during the project. The planning division indicated that the proposed work is exempt from site plan review and no additional land use reviews are required. And the public works department indicated that they have no concerns with the project. Since the staff report was issued, we did receive a letter that was forwarded to you from the Oregon State Historic Preservation Office, which from Jason Allen, and he concurred that the proposed project will not have an adverse effect on the resource. So in conclusion, based upon the applicant's submittal and the findings presented in the staff report, staff recommends the Landmarks Commission approve the proposal. And that concludes the staff report. I'm going to stop sharing so you can see each other.
Awesome. Thank you, Kimberly. Do any commissioners have questions for staff? Awesome. Not hearing or seeing anything. I will now call for the applicant's testimony. If you can please state your name and address for the record, that can be your business address. And please note that your testimony is limited to 15 minutes. Do we have the applicant, Kimberly?
Oh, sorry, we were double muted. So,
no worries.
Eric Phillips with Sarah Architects representing DAS, and Steve Ponce is the PM. We don't have any testimony at this time. The impetus for the project is to address the long-standing deferred maintenance and energy issues in this building. It's one of DAS's most poorly performing structures, and so we're looking to repair the historic resource that's here and also update the building so that they can continue to use it for its intended use for the foreseeable future. So,
and can you state your business address really quick, just for the record?
Let's see, Sarah Architects, 338
Northwest 5th.
Northwest 5th.
Takes two of us.
Sorry, we work together that much, and yeah,
And,
we were working from home until yesterday. So.
Right.
So, and that's Portland.
97209.
Awesome. Thank you. Are there any questions for the applicant? I do have one, and I hope this isn't out of line to ask, but I noticed the letter that we were sent from Jason was CC'd to Jessica Ingeman, who is a historic preservationist, architectural historian. And I'm just curious, I see our documentation on this building is from 1989. I'm really grateful that it's a local landmark, but I'm curious if Sarah or her work did do any additional research on the building, found any additional documentation, and if possible, maybe that could be provided to us just to kind of attach, put in the folder with the building documentation, just so we have as much as we can. Is that something that was gathered, or did you guys just kind of use the 1989 local landmark form?
Can you speak to that?
We have original documentation, plans of the building, and then since then, Sarah has done a number of renovations on the building, and we have documentation of that. So we could certainly share that back to you if that would help.
Yeah, that would be wonderful, just to have kind of a complete file on the history of the building. If for one day in the future DAS decides to list it in the National Register or something like that, just to kind of have all of our information in as few places as possible is really helpful. So yeah, that'd be wonderful.
Should I send that to Kimberly or you, or?
If you could send it to Kimberly or Zach, that would be great.
Okay, absolutely. You got it.
Thank you so much. Other than that, I personally don't have any questions. on the project plans, I think it looks very straightforward. I really appreciate the reuse of the historic wood windows. I think a lot of times it's easy for us to just say, oh, well, we want to do double pane, let's just do all new windows. But I'm really grateful that we'll be keeping that that wood, and also the correction to the terracotta where feasible, I think is a really great. And I'm really curious to see how the alternative material kind of ages and weathers to eventually blend in. I think that'll be a really neat kind of material experiment on one of the buildings, but glad some of that terracotta is staying. And I think, Eric, it kind of goes to what you were just saying, this isn't maybe the most energy efficient building that DAS has. And so I'm glad to see it come up to speed, but at the same time, also keeping a lot of materials out of the landfill will be really nice. So glad to see that kind of holistically thinking about what we can do for climate change and material waste and embodied energy. So that's great. Is there anyone here representing the neighborhood association? Not seeing. Zach's not saying
Sorry.
anything, so I assume no.
No, we have no one else is here to provide testimony for neighborhood or the public.
Perfect. Wonderful. I will turn my page over. I don't think you need to do a rebuttal, but Eric and Karen, do you have anything to close us out?
We do not.
Perfect. And then are there any additional questions for staff? All right, so I will now close the public hearing. No additional testimony will be accepted at this time without formally reopening the hearing. And I will now call for a motion. Uh-oh.
It's Andy. I'll make the motion to approve it.
Approve staff recommendation?
Yep.
Awesome. Is there a second?
I will second.
Awesome. Commissioner Zimmerman moved and Commissioner Fuller seconded to approve staff recommendation. Commissioner Zimmerman, to your motion.
Like you mentioned, it's pretty straightforward. I appreciate the efforts being put in by the state to make sure that this resource is maintained and will be something that folks can enjoy into the future. I'm happy that they're using the materials that they're using in terms of trying to keep that look as much as possible. I know with the age of the materials, you have to use some new stuff, especially the terracotta. So like you mentioned, I'll be curious to see how that kind of blends in with the rest of it on the building. But I'm pleased that the state's making the effort to keep this resource in good shape or in better shape.
Thank you, Commissioner Zimmerman. Is there any other discussion? Awesome. Yeah, I will just echo kind of what I said earlier. I'm really grateful to see this project moving forward. I'm excited to see DAS, putting some time and some money and some energy into our historic resources here in Salem. It's so great this is listed on the local landmark. I issue a challenge to DAS. Wouldn't it be so great to have both our Supreme Court and our Department of Justice building listed on the National Register? Hint, hint, guys. But no, I think this project is great. It's really excited to see it. And I appreciate DAS also really reaching back to preservation architects to really do this project. It's really nice to have people on board that understand the nuances and the complexities and to appreciate the property. So thank you also to the applicant for being here tonight. So hearing no additional discussion, we will now vote on approving staff recommendations for historic design review case number HIS 2113. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, no. Awesome, the motion passes. Steve, welcome back to the meeting. You can turn your camera back on. Again, thank you to Eric and Karen for being here. You guys are welcome to stay. But also we totally understand if you want to head home. So thank you for participating.
Thank you all for the time and consideration.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, that was an easy one, guys. I feel like this year we have like no design review cases, and then we've got really good ones when we have them. So awesome. So we now have action items. I don't believe that we have any on the agenda. Seeing Kimberly shaking her head, and pause for Zach to correct me.
No action items, just some minor discussion.
Perfect. All right, and so we will move into some discussion items. I know we don't have a lot. I feel like I can see it on all of our faces. We're a little tired today, and I thought it was January, so Lord knows that's not a good way to start a meeting. So I think the first thing we have is newsletter assignments, and then we'll go into other work plan updates. So Zach, take it away.
Sure. So we have our summer, was that summer? Yeah, summer newsletter went out last month, and yay, fantastic, wow. So next month, or not next month, sorry, I am also out of it apparently. For our next issue, we need to decide on topics or who's writing what. In our agenda meeting, I brought up the idea of theming the fall issue around entertainment or leisure. So potentially either historic buildings or historic activities or things about leisure and entertainment in Salem history or Oregon history is what I had proposed. And then one other thing to discuss is we did have a member of the public reach out, say that they'd like to write an article for the landmark. That's what we're called. The newsletter is called The Landmark. And just to bring it to the commission on how accepting public or general articles from the public would work, if just anyone could write anything, or if there would be a submittal process, or what the commission wants to do in terms of accepting articles from the public as it is your newsletter. So
awesome. Thank you, Zach. Yeah, so I guess let's start with the theme, entertainment and recreation. Is there any comment? Do we like the idea of maybe for this issue trying a theme, seeing how it goes, and then maybe we can adopt them throughout the year? And if it doesn't work, we can always abandon ship. But is there any? I see Commissioner Fuller, Commissioner Thomas.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking it would tie nicely to the walking drive, the multimodal tour thing that we just completed. That would be something that would fit in there. I did want to volunteer for, maybe it's the winter newsletter, just depends on the timing, but do something about energy and historic buildings.
Great.
But it just, it depends on the timing. Right now it's kind of crazy. I would have time later when what are the deadlines, Zach?
that is a good question. I cannot reach my calendar, but the idea is that I want them to go out the week of the solstice/equinox of whatever season it's for. So the submissions would be due like a week and a half, 2 weeks before that.
Mid-September.
So mid-September is what we're looking at for this one.
Okay. Well, and the energy thing wouldn't fit with your theme. So why don't you just put me down for winter for that?
Okay.
Awesome. I'd love to do an article in the fall, and I love the notion of entertainment and leisure, especially since things are opening back up and people are going downtown more. And the weather is going to not be 115 degrees. As far as a topic, I think looking at potentially the going outside, and I know I just did Bush Park, but the dog park at Minto Brown is definitely calling to me as well. It could be an interesting thing of talking about how Minto Brown Island was farmland at one point in time until the river changed course, and now the city owns it. I'm going to work the Oregon State Fair here come this fall, as the Archives operates a booth there pretty regularly. So the state fairgrounds themselves could be an interesting thing as well, because that happens at the end of summer, just before fall. And it will be something that lots of Oregonians have gone and attended, and gone to Salem specifically to attend. So I'm unsure as to which one specifically, but I know I want to do something. Can we mark me down for a maybe?
Oh, can I just build on the Minto Island idea? I think that's a great idea. And so I'm working with park staff now because they're wanting to do a big planting project out there. And so we are working with them to provide an overview of the history. So if you want to help us dive in, that would be a great thing. And then we could get an article out of it too.
Definitely. Yeah, that sounds great. Here, I'll do some writing on that. All right, Mento. Mento is this article.
Great. Perfect.
Thank
All
you.
right. So Commissioner Fuller has volunteered and Kimberly's roped him into an extra thing. So that's great. Yeah, I was thinking I want to write on, this was my idea, fallout shelters, but there's a lot of talk about like how to entertain yourself in a fallout shelter. So that will be my chair, or not entertain yourself, I guess. That'll be my newsletter. Are there any other volunteers for that fall newsletter? Sorry, go ahead, Zach.
We have Commissioner Zimmerman and Commissioner Kerdeman with their hands
I
up.
forgot I don't have that open. Sorry, guys. Commissioner Kerdeman.
Actually, Commissioner Zimmerman was up first.
Oh, was he first? Okay, sorry. Commissioner Zimmerman.
Yeah, kind of building on the entertainment thing. I've always, I've written about some of the theater stuff downtown before, but I could kind of hit on some of the points of that, some of the theaters that people have experienced through downtown and some of the buildings that are still around that house those. So I could write something along those lines for the issue if that works for folks.
Yeah, I love that. That sounds awesome, Commissioner Zimmerman. Commissioner Kerdeman.
I can feel Kimberly's eyes on me, waiting for me to say something. So, October is usually Archaeology Month for Oregon. So it'd be good if we had an article of sorts highlighting that, and we can easily apply a theme of entertainment and recreation to that as well. So I guess I'm volunteering to do something, write something, or yeah.
Awesome. Love that. Thank you, Commissioner Kerdeman. Commissioner Ponce.
So I just think that there's a newsletter project recap in the project that we just approved. The energy efficiency that we're looking for, the acoustic improvements, and the longevity of the building itself, a little history. So when we're done, it may not be fall, winter, but when we are, I think it's a great project and we can have an article out of it, for sure.
That's wonderful. That would be awesome. Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Ponce. That'd be great. Cool. Well, it sounds like we have for the fall newsletter, Commissioner Fuller will do something on Mento, Commissioner Zimmerman do something on theater, Commissioner Kerdeman will tie in entertainment and archaeology. And then it sounds like for the winter edition, the theme of kind of energy efficiency and historic preservation, it sounds like Commissioner Thomas will hopefully have some time by what would be that like December to do something, and maybe even Commissioner Ponce, or depending where the project is, maybe we could do like a before and after article, even like what we took into consideration designing and then sort of how it all worked. And we'll, can have a couple extra things in that one. I think with regards to having the public write for the newsletter, I'm definitely supportive of that. I think it'd be great, get more people involved in the landmark. But I think maybe, I don't know, Zach and Kimberly, if we want to talk about a way to maybe set themes, if this is the way we go a couple seasons in advance, and maybe make that available on our Facebook page or on our website, and then try to solicit articles that way. I don't know. Our lawyer has their hand up. That's not good.
Usually not, no. I do have a little bit of concern about the city editing and having content control over a citizen's input. So let me work through that with Kimberly.
Okay, so we will table the citizens writing maybe for now. And then, but we do have what sounds like an awesome fall landmark edition, tons of great content. And I think what's shaping out to be a really great winter one. That's an awesome idea, Commissioner Thomas. I love that. And then I think that'll leverage, maybe Kimberly can write something on our new energy efficiency toolbox grant.
Yeah, that would be perfect. That's actually perfect timing. Great. And you're gonna do the fallout shelter, did you say?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Found some cool ads and stuff. So Awesome. So I think newsletter assignments are done. And then let's go into, I know I kind of skipped on the agenda. Let's go into our work plan assignment updates and check-ins. We're honestly all involved in so much. I can't really remember who's doing what. So let's start with Commissioner Thomas, who I know is on the Salem Heritage group for an update. And then I guess we'll just go down the list.
Yeah, great. I know that we have completed that. We're probably, I think Kimberly or Zach would probably be able to give you most information, but as far as I know, we got through the finish line. Did we print 1,000 copies? 5,000? What did we end up? Are we completely done?
I want to say that we ended up printing like, was it like 18,000 copies or something crazy like that?
I don't know. Was it that much? We
I
printed
think
a bunch.
so.
Yeah.
Because we ended up, there was, from my understanding, there was the like price difference between the two was, I'm bringing up the invoice now so that I actually know what I'm saying. But the price difference between like getting 10,000 and 18,000 was like $25 or something ridiculously low. And so they are not only going to be up and around venues in Salem, but they're also going to be along tourist corridors and things for people who are just visiting the state, and it might catch their eye to bring them to visit historical sites in Oregon.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
do you have I'm not on my regular computer because I'm still have technology problems. Can you pull it up and share it with everyone so they see what it looks like?
I am capable of doing it.
We can, how about we jump to Commissioner Ponce, maybe can give us an update on his outreach and while you pull that up.
Okay, so we are making progress. The survey was, I think, a success. I think we got some feedback, and we just need to now fine tune that and reissue for a larger audience. I think we're ready to do that.
That's awesome. Thank you, Commissioner Ponce. I'm really excited to hear the results. That's great. Let's see. Commissioner Kurdeman, are you on? Do you have a work plan? No, okay, that works.
Yes, archaeology.
Oh, that's right. Actually, I did have something. Former Commissioner Timbrook is watching us right now, so I think everyone should just wave
Hi,
to her and say, "Hey, Jennifer."
And she was on the committee with Steve, so we're roping her back in.
Oh, good, awesome. Yeah, are there any early Archaeology Month updates that you want to share, Commissioner Kurdeman?
No, not any.
Yes, you are helping us our meeting this morning. You remember way back from this morning?
That was like 3 weeks ago. Yeah, aside from the meeting this morning, is the larger whole Archaeology Month. I don't have any updates. I have to coordinate with SHPO since they're the ones that house that sort of thing. Okay. My words aren't coming to me very well today. But this morning we are actively working on getting the interpretive signage figured out for the police station. And there's an interpretive sign that's going to focus on the archaeology that was found at the police station property and kind of the story it tells from that. So we're working on it. More to come.
Awesome. Thank you. That's great to hear. I'm excited to see that. That'll be really cool. Commissioner Zimmerman, how's your stuff going? The Facebook page, as always, is great.
Just kind of keeping plugging away at that kind of stuff. And if anybody has any kind of suggestions or anything that they're working on with their work groups that they feel like would be something of value to put out there, let me know. And I'm definitely interested in trying to get some more stuff, kind of more current issue stuff out there, not just historical stuff out there, since that stuff seems to get a little more traction too if it's something that's kind of fresh or something that folks see that's going on around town. And then we have a Facebook or Twitter post or something on it, it seems to, get a little more interest from our groups that follow us on Facebook and such. So yeah, if anybody has anything, just let me know, and I'll make sure to get it out there and hopefully get a little more light on some of the things that the HLC is working on.
Awesome. Zach's hands up.
Sorry, that was just me adjusting where I'm sitting.
Oh.
But I am prepared to share my screen now if people are ready to return to that.
All right, let's go for it.
Okay, I will go ahead and share this. And I did look at it. We're getting 1,700 or 17,500 copies of this brochure. So it's going to look a little odd because of the folding. So this is upside down, but we have, this will be the cover in the back. Just has a little bit of information about the project. And then we have, I believe, 33 sites listed, as well as a map with markers for everyone. So this was based on another brochure that was done by, I forget which, was it
The state.
the state? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a state one, but yeah, we basically just copied the format and plugged in all the great buildings that we wanted to highlight on here. And
Yeah.
oh, and then we got a new website for the SalemCultureandHeritage.com. That's new.
And then that website will host all of this information, as well as there were some additional sites that didn't fit on the map that will be included there. And theoretically, as we have more time to work on it and potentially future grants, we will expand it to, from my understanding, from what we've talked about, we'll have it so that you can say like, oh, I'm interested in touring things that historically suit this purpose, or different like themes. So someone could like, I want to look at all the historical breweries in Salem, or I want to just visit neighborhoods or things like that. Theoretically, if we have the time and ability to work on those, that will be updated in that as well.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. It looks great. And I'm really excited we were able to print so many that they can kind of go around the state to like draw people in. I think that'll be really cool outreach. So awesome. Thank you, Commissioner Thomas, for all your efforts on that.
Sure.
On the
Yeah,
second
there's
page,
oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Commissioner Kurdeman. Sorry.
I was gonna say on the second page, Oregon is spelled incorrectly.
Where?
I'm just kidding.
Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
God.
Oh, that was
Don't do
brutal.
that to Zach.
I'm
Oh
just
my
kidding. It looks so good, you guys. It looks very, very classy and crisp and professional, and I am wowed. It looks amazing. I'm really impressed. You guys did an awesome job. That was a lot of work to put that together, and a lot of ideas, and a lot had to get cut to make it look that clean. I understand. So you guys did amazing.
Well, thank you for your help. You helped with the something georeferencing things.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, I helped with something at one point. Yeah, no, you guys did all the work. So kudos to everyone. You guys did awesome.
Yeah, you know, at the beginning we were kind of like looking at like defined tours, like what you would do, and then but now we just kind of put everything, and then they can kind of create their own tour, whether they want to walk or whether they want to drive or they want to take a hoverboard. They can do that. You know, we still have on the table like updating the signage, like that's still a thing, and then maybe we do some more smaller, intricate ones of like, hey, these are like the tour that we all went on. You know, pre-COVID, where we walked around and did those. So maybe that becomes one thing. Because that was like 21 pages, but yeah, if we could boil that down to just a couple, that would be good. So yeah, still a work in progress. And oh, there's something. Can I get like 20, 30 copies?
Oh, I'm sure you can. Well, we
Okay.
got to figure out where they are. I think Yvonne's been out of state. She's had some challenges with her family. So
Oh.
I imagine they're in boxes somewhere waiting for us to get them. So yes, we're going back to the office next week. So we'll get it sorted and
Okay.
get some to you. Yeah.
We get a bunch of drones just to drop them in town.
Yeah, downtown. Exactly.
Perfect. Well, thank you all. I think all those in favor of making Commissioner Kurdeman buy Zach a present after giving him a heart attack.
Exactly.
Legit.
Commissioner Fuller, have you volunteered for any committees or anything yet? Work plan?
I mean, beyond the newsletter, not a whole lot, but I feel like there's something going on with Minto right now that Kimberly has just talked with me about.
Yeah.
So we'll get on horns together and get that figured.
Perfect. You'll have updates at the next meeting. And then last but not least, Commissioner Cottingham. I think you're probably almost done with the bush pasture stuff, but.
Yeah, and I made him like think about volunteering for something new.
Yeah. So yeah, that's true. That bush pasture, we got the presentation last month, I believe. But yes, the new thing that I was asked about was the Lord and Shriver, let me check here, Conservancy, as the official organization. So they've been developing and growing over the years, and now they're trying to be even more sustainable as a long-term organization, doing all the things they do, including supporting their couple of paid staff, continue to improve programming, and supporting all of their dedicated volunteers, which means they would like more people to help with the board as volunteer roles. So I reached out to Bobby, or Bobby reached out to me, and I reached back. So I'm talking to her about possibly joining the board to support that.
Awesome. That sounds great. Perfect.
Pending time commitments, but
Yes, definitely. You will not be the only Cottingham on a board, I guess. In your family. That was not a good joke. Sorry. Moving on. Oh, I do have an update. So the historic photo contest, we've been getting out and taking the pictures with all of the winners at the sites where they took their pictures, and it's been really great to get to meet everyone. And they've all been really excited and thrilled. We didn't even have prizes for the first ones, and they were still really excited to kind of meet up at their sites. And I think it is just really amazing how much it means to people, to be part of the photo contest and to be recognized for it. And so it's just been really great. And they're already thinking about their pictures for next year, and lots of people who have done it before, first time people. It's a really meaningful thing for the community that, to be honest, I don't think I recognized the magnitude of what it was until getting to talk with everyone about it. And so just for next year, really looking forward to seeing what people get and submit, and just kind of getting the word out there. So that's been a really great experience. So hearing no other work plan updates, always amazed with what we all do. I will pass it. Oh,
sorry. Oh, I guess this would be a Kim thing. Never mind. I can do it during Kim's report. My brain is not working.
No worries. All right. So with that, I will pass it over to Kimberly for the Historic Preservation Officer report.
And I will pass it to Zach. Zach, what you got?
I was just going to say that the second cycle of the Toolbox grant is currently live, and it is our first cycle in which we are doing the energy efficiency grants. When I last checked, we only have one application, but the grant doesn't close for another 2 weeks, a little bit over 2 weeks. So.
Oh, maybe Andy can help with. Andy, help us.
That'd be great if you wanted to post on Facebook to apply for that. But yes. So that's open until the 30th, unless we decide to extend that deadline for some reason. But yeah, so that is currently open, and we have an application already. Hopefully we get a lot more, just because it's always nice to have a lot of people interested in doing it.
Yeah.
So that was my update.
And now that I think about it, Zach, maybe for our next packet, we can share that report that we shared with our donors. So Zach did a great job putting together our report of all the grants we awarded last year. So that you guys can see too. I think, yeah, we'll share that. Why don't we share that next time? So I have a few things to share. So we don't have any public hearings for August, and I'm going to be going to Puerto Rico. So I think that we don't need to have a meeting as long as you guys are okay with that. Enjoy a month off. But we do have a couple of public hearings, it looks like, in the queue for September, and Dan can and Lisa can confirm, but we're looking at meeting in person for our meeting in September. So it'll be nice to see everybody again. And Zach doesn't know this yet, but we bring snacks to HLC. He's only done this virtually, so.
I was gonna say, and by we, that means Zach.
Yeah, yes, that's what it means.
I
was trying to
make
say
up for
it
a whole
gently,
year
but.
with no
Well, we'll see. I think I have a bag of gummy worms in my house.
Oh no. Oh no, no, no. The only other thing I wanted to mention, and it's pretty exciting. So the Highland, I think it's Highland Neighborhood Association, was that right, Zach? Has reached out, and they are very interested in being designated a Salem Heritage Neighborhood. And some of you know what this is, but some of you don't know because it's been a while. So the Heritage Neighborhood is, there's no regulation attached to it. It's just doing fun educational things and engaging with this neighborhood and helping them to identify what resources are in their neighborhood and what they could maybe do in terms of like designation or education. We've worked with 2 neighborhood associations so far, the Grant neighborhood and the Cessna neighborhood. So more to come on that. Probably the next step is to invite them to our next meeting and have them just come and state their interest formally. And then what would happen then is if you choose to move ahead with it, it would become part of our next year's work plan. So anyway, just wanted to share that. And then one other thing, I've just recently joined, it's a committee that the Bush House and the Salem Art Association have put together, and it's to reimagine the Bush House history in a way that incorporates the underrepresented parts of the community in a bit of a better way. And I can't remember, I believe that this was, how long ago was this? Everything seems so long ago, pre-COVID, but Ross Sutherland came to the Landmarks Commission meeting, I think it was a couple of years ago, and he was talking about that sort of racist history of Bush and how that kind of dismayed him, and he was really interested in doing a better job. And so this is that. So I'm part of a much larger group of folks, including Zachary from the Oregon Black Pioneers and some other folks. And so you're going to see some really, I hope, really interesting stuff come out of that in the next year or so. And last, for November, for Native American Heritage Month, the new interim Executive Director Matthew has been engaging with some Native American artists, and hopefully we're going to be doing something really cool in November around that. So we're going to be playing a supportive role, but more to come on that. So that's all I've got.
Perfect. Thank you, Kimberly. Commissioner Thomas, I saw you had your hand up. Did I skip you? It's not up right now. You took it down, but did you have?
Yeah, I just sent Zach a note. I want to get the information on that grant, and I'll share it with NEN because the Court Shemekidah is in NEN and they can distribute it.
Oh yeah, that'd be wonderful. Thank you. Perfect. All right. So we're done with our staff report. Is there any other business that anyone would like to bring up before we adjourn?
I'd like to suggest that Zach reach out to Sally for instructions about snacks. I think she's still with the city.
Oh my gosh, Sally sets such a high bar.
Yeah. She'll coach you. She'll help you.
Uh-oh, poor Zach. Kirsten, well, shall I share your cooking ideas, Zach?
Oh, well, I mean, we could bring those items, but I don't know that anyone wants a strawberry and peas pie, which is a real pie that Kirsten made.
Kirsten and Zach are thinking up a fun idea maybe to do in the future, doing You should share it, your YouTube.
Yeah, we want to take weird recipes from historical or modern cookbooks, but most of the weird ones are in historical cookbooks. Just about weird recipes and making them, and then forcing our husbands to eat them and whatnot. So
The HLC could be your test group.
it could be. It could be.
Tracy's going on. All right, well, more to come. I just want to say that how much I really appreciate everyone pivoting so seamlessly this last year and a half to meeting online and doing these virtual hearings. I think that there hasn't been one time when most of you haven't shown up. It's been just really a pleasure to work with you this last year. And I can't believe how much we got done. I mean, we updated our historic preservation plan, we revised our code, and we plugged along giving out grants and still did historic design reviews. So I just want to extend my sincere thanks. And I really look forward to seeing you all again in person.
Thank you, Kimberly. Commissioner Ponce.
Hi, yes, just kind of follow up on, there was a request for comments on the Bush Park master plan, and we maybe others sent some in that they got collated and forwarded.
I did forward some. Yeah, did you want to still send some? I think there might still be time if you're interested.
No, I did send one in, so I was just wondering if it got forwarded out, because it just is a great presentation as is.
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
You know, half of it was just kudos to the group.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Commissioner Kurdeman.
I'm really excited to see everyone again in August. The last time, September, whatever, January. I'm really excited to see everyone, especially some of the new folks. Last time most of you saw me, I was very, very pregnant with twins.
That's right.
So
oh my God.
Hopefully I'm a little smaller than last time, but COVID happens.
Bring the girls.
Oh, there we go. Nothing would get done.
And we'd have more fun probably, but they'd eat all of our snacks though.
I'm looking for maybe we could do something this December and have just like maddening children running around everywhere.
I love that. I think Commissioner Zimmerman's kids are like babysitting age, so they can watch your girls.
My daughter's getting about that age, so I'm sure she would love to help.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, yeah, thank you guys. Kimberly, I guess if or Zach, I don't know, Lisa, Dan, whoever, if there's going to be more guidance about going back to in-person, and if we will still have a digital option available, I guess we'll just work through that in September when we get there. I'm assuming.
I can provide some guidance now. In fact, I just got out of a meeting with some city councilors regarding council meetings. Nothing's been decided yet, but where it appears to be heading for boards and commissions is that boards and commissions, depending on your technical savvy of staff and the resources available, are either going to be completely in person or completely virtual. Some of the boards and commissions have expressed a desire to be completely virtual because the members like it better. They've gotten better participation. Others have not. There's also a new House bill floating around that I know Lisa's aware of that's going to require some level of virtual participation or attendance by members of the public to the extent that it's reasonable for us to do so. There's a lot of complications with doing a hybrid sort of meeting where you've got members at home and in the chambers, as well as the same thing with the public. So most likely it's going to be one or the other.
Awesome. Thank you for that. I appreciate the clarification. So cool. Well, as always, thank you everyone for another great meeting. Anything else? All right, hearing nothing else, we will adjourn. Awesome.